Okay, so you're here to talk to us about poison gas. We have a few questions for you about poison gas. What country invented it, and more specifically, what company? We'd just like to know whose technology we're using.
Well, the French were the first to use gas, but they used tear gas, which only blinded the enemies. But the Germans were the first to use gas that killed people, and that was made by a company called IG Farben.
Okay.
So what's the purpose of this weapon?
The purpose of this weapon is to kill the enemies, and also hinder them, and without letting anyone on your side die.
So what countries are in the war right now that are currently using poison gas, and for them has it been a disadvantage or an advantage?
The French were the first to use it, but then later Germany and Britain also used it. And the technology was an advantage because it was the most feared weapon of World War I. It was good because the impact of the gas was immediate and devastating. Many people died slow, painful deaths because of poison gas.
So in what battles have poison gas been used in, and what was the outcome?
Gas was used in many battles, like the Second Battle of the Europe. The outcome was unexpected because it worked on the enemy, but also, if the wind changed, the gas would come back to wherever it was released.
And can we estimate the deadly power of poison gas?
Yes, it can take out a whole front of troops without gas masks, and once the gas is inhaled, it is nearly always fatal or severe injury.
So what's the cost of this poison gas?
Well, it's a lot cheaper than all your tanks and everything else that you've used so far. And it's definitely worth the price because it's very effective.
So how has the weapon poison gas changed warfare? And why should we, the U.S., adopt it?
Poison gas has changed warfare because it has provided a way to kill or immobilize multiple enemies at a short range. This is vital because oftentimes in the trench warfare style that has been used in World War I, you could see your enemies. If you tried to use a plane and bomb the enemies from this range, you may have also killed yourself. Machine guns could have been effective, but you typically can only shoot a gun at one person at a time. Grenades could also have been useful, but you can usually take cover behind shelter to survive a grenade attack, and when poison gas affects all of the air around you, your only protection would be a gas mask.
Why would we select poison gas over flamethrowers?
Because flamethrowers are very heavy to carry, they're confusing and difficult to operate, they're very noticeable and distract the enemy soldiers, and if it gets shot, it could kill not one, but possibly multiple of your own side.
Why wouldn't we want to use tanks?
Well, tanks were not as good as poison gas for a few reasons. One reason is tanks were very big and very expensive. Also, poison gas was cheap and very effective. When used, it had deadly results and made the person suffer until death.
Okay. And why would we choose poison gas over machine guns, say?
Because people can hide from bullets, like in the trenches or behind sandbag walls, but you can't hide from gas because you have to breathe and it gets everywhere. And also the guns are not very reliable.
That sounds excellent. Okay, thank you for your talk to us about poison gas, and we will consider it. We will contact you in a few business days.
Okay, thank you for listening, Mr. Baker and Mr. Lansing.
Well, are we going to do a voiceover like
We tested the effects of poison gas, and these were the results.
Gas! I don't have a gas mask!
As you can see from this image, clearly this soldier has been mutilated because of the effects of poison gas. Because of his mutations, he is living in a lot of pain. He can no longer fight and will remain hospitalized until his slow, long, painful death.
This image shows that there were many casualties from poison gas. Chlorine was responsible for 1,976 deaths, and mustard gas was responsible for 4,086 deaths. There were 164,457 non-fatal casualties from chlorine, and 16,526 non-fatal casualties from mustard gas.
This picture shows a man without a gas mask holding his throat because the gas is destroying his lungs during a gas attack, and the soldiers behind him are hindered but can still fight with their gas masks on.
This piece of propaganda depicts wounded soldiers in a hospital affected by poison gas. You can see scars and bulbuses on the patients. The picture was published to inform the public about a battle won for Germany, where they used poison gas.